Welcome back. I'm Damion Mitchell. We're continuing our chat with the Agriculture and Fisheries Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, as part of our brand new Gleaner series, Grow, Reaping a Better Tomorrow. In this, our final segment, we will take your questions to the Minister through the Gleaner's feedback page, gireports.com. Aston John writes, he says, there is a type of fishing that is being done in the Kingston Harbor. It's called trawling or crawling. It is far more dangerous than dynamiting. A bag-like net is attached to 2 pieces of plyboard, which are then dragged along the seafloor. The board acts like shovels, and everything that is scraped from the seafloor is collected in this net. It is so small that a shrimp 1 inch can be trapped. The young of all kinds of fish are being killed and then dumped just so they can catch 15 or 20 pounds of shrimp. The Portmore Causeway area is like a nursery, he says. The seagrass and the reeds are being killed. What's left of the little reef is being destroyed. Are you aware of this? Is it being
I know of the practice. I'm not aware to what extent it's being done in that location. The practice is not unique to Jamaica, obviously. It is an international one, and it's one that's not sustainable in terms of the fisheries sector. The fisheries sector, as you know, has been undergoing a major overhaul, starting with new legislation and new policy. We're expecting to table new legislation this year, and from that will flow a number of changes, some of which we are implementing now, like the fish sanctuaries and the mesh size and so on, which is geared towards trying to control some of those unsustainable practices. We have to manage the process carefully because a number of these practices have been around for ages. And many of our fishers live on the margins of society. They're at the edge of the poverty line. And so in replacing some of these methods, you have to manage the transition to some of the more sustainable activities. So it's something we're working on.
Let's try to stick in 1 or 2 more questions. Copeland Launder, he's asking, do you have any plans for improving cane farming in northeast Clarendon? What about introducing agriculture in schools?
Well, the second question is there. I mean, with the 4-H movement, we have over 70,000 or close to that clubites, primarily in the secondary and primary schools across Jamaica, through the 4-H movement, which is part of us, and it not only teaches, but it provides practical practice in agricultural activity. We do have agricultural courses also. We are reviewing, however, the tertiary and vocational training level agricultural program, so that's there. On the issue of northeast Clarendon, the northern section of Clarendon normally grows cane, hillside cane production. The southern section is where you have the large mechanizable fields. As you know, the cane industry has been going through some transformation. The divestment process is making progress, and the new players, we expect to put a lot more money and to expand production. And I suspect that wherever the opportunity is for more cane to grow, I think those opportunities will be presented to those critical areas.
Let's hear from Tony Finch. He says he's living abroad and has been having a small farm of 9.5 acres, mainly coconut. He would like to develop it to also include livestock. Can he qualify for a financial loan?
You know, financial loans are dependent on a business plan. 9 acres would not qualify one to get a loan. It's what you're going to do with the 9 acres and how you plan to manage the 9 acres. I suspect that living abroad and managing 9 acres of coconuts in Jamaica may be untenable to the average banker unless he has some alternative or some partnership there. So what we do, we provide direction and assistance in some cases towards developing a business plan. What I'd advise him to do is to get that type of assistance either on his own or through our Agro-Invest Corporation, and then we take it from there to make the investment viable.
Geeko Ranking is also writing. He has lots of commendations for you. He says he thinks that you're a bright young man. But let's get to
not so young anymore. But
let's get to the gist of his presentation. He's saying that no agricultural product must be wasted. You need to find local, regional, and international export markets.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And we have local, regional, and international export markets. Not enough, but we have a fair bit. Our sugar, for example, all of it is exported. That's our largest agricultural income earner. Where we need to go to secure those external markets in a more consistent way is value-added activity. Once we maintain a commodity mentality, where we produce banana, sugar, cocoa in its commodity form and ship abroad for people to process. We're competing at a level where price changes makes us very vulnerable. So what we're trying to do in the ministry now is to move up the value chain, to take our cocoa and make chocolate, take our sugar and make rum or refined sugar and coffee and package. And once we do that, I think we can build a brand and take advantage of those markets.
Roddy McLean, he says the Charleston grey watermelon was once the popular choice of farmers in St. Elizabeth. Today, that variety seems to have been having a difficult time managing the conditions well. He wants to know whether there is any possibility of your technological experts offering these farmers some help with the good old grey, as he calls it.
The thing about sentimental attachment to crops, it has to have a relationship also to the marketplace. So I'm not very familiar with that variety, I must admit. I know of it, but I don't have a lot of technical knowledge on it, and I suspect there would be a reason why it may have been superseded by another variety, maybe because of taste or otherwise. So one would have to find out exactly what's the history behind that. What I do know is that St. Elizabeth grows excellent melon, and very sweet, tasty melon, and the largest supplier in the country. And we continue to provide support to the farmers in that respect.
Steve Bullins, he's asking if ethanol production from sugarcane is going to play a bigger role in terms of making fuel more affordable for consumers.
The long-term vision of the cane industry is that ethanol will be part of the portfolio of products. The new players coming in, the Chinese, have as part of their medium-term strategy construction of an ethanol plant. The market, through our E10 program, does require ethanol, and cane is one of the more efficient ways. So when you combine all of those variables, I think there is a strong possibility that we could get into ethanol production.
We have to wrap up, Minister, but there's one question that needs to be asked. It's coming from Ashton Hyatt. He says, "Dear sir, I would like to know how I can get some land to buy or rent from your ministry to do some farming. I'm in Florida."
Well, first thing he needs to do is to come home and then have a sit down with us. We have a unit in the ministry that would be willing to sit with him, agro-invest. Again, link it to a business plan. We're doing a land policy revision now that links the leasing or otherwise of arable land to a business plan with timetables. So if he does that, then we'll be willing to provide him with some options.
Well, that brings us to the end of our program today. A special chat with the Agriculture and Fisheries Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, as part of a brand new Gleaner series, Grow, Reaping a Better Tomorrow. Dr. Tufton, thank you so very much for having joined us.
Thank you.
Until next time, I'm Damion Mitchell. Take care.